What's up guys, Fred here, and let's get started. So today I want to show you how you can actually create this kind of 3D geometry artworks. For example, this one here looks pretty nice, also looks glitchy, or also this one here. So I'm going to show you how you can actually create this kind of box, 3D box, how you can put a person inside it, I would say, or for example this one, and also how you can apply a texture on it just like here, so it looks cool. So, and you can do lots of different artworks with it, and or this one for example as well. This one is also pretty cool. So let's get started. And oh, okay, yeah, this one is actually one of my latest artworks. I didn't publish it yet on Instagram, but yeah, what do you think of it? I think it looks nice. So anyway, let's go to a new project in Photoshop, empty project, and let's take any image that we can use, and I will show you that on, for example, on this image here. Let me make this bigger, a little bit down, and press OK. So what we actually need to do right now, first of all, let's go to layers, this panel here, and delete this background layer because we don't really need it, it's useless. And now we need to create a square. In order to create a square, we need to go here, press right, and make sure you choose your rectangle tool. That's what we are going to use. Then when you have that chosen, go here, make sure you press on fill, and here make sure this the first option is chosen. That means we have no fill inside. Basically the rectangle will have no color inside, but it's going to have colors on the border, so we need stroke. So we press on stroke and make sure you press on the first one, and let's choose white color, or you can just press here and choose any color that you want to choose. Okay, so we are going to choose white, and when you have white chosen, make sure you have here 4 pixels. We can change it later anyway as well, so 4 pixels, and everything should be fine, and let's get started. So we can just now drag and draw a rectangle, and for example you can just press and drag, and when you do that, see what happens. We actually draw a rectangle like this. Okay, so now we can get a little bit closer, and so now you can change the width of this element here. Maybe you can make it thicker, so you can go just here and make this for example 8, press enter, as you can see now it's thicker. So what we actually need to do right now, let's choose our first tool, and now of course with this first tool you can move the rectangle if you want to, left, right. If you want to change its size, you can just go to edit and choose free transform, or you can choose you can press Ctrl plus T if you're using Windows, or if you're using Mac you can press Command plus T, and then you can change the size. But we don't actually need it, so let's just press cancel. So how are we going to create the rectangle behind, so this part and also the left and right part? First of all, we need to create a copy. So in order to create a copy, you can just hold Alt if you're using Windows. If you're using Mac, you hold Option. Just hold Alt or Option, press here on the empty place on the rectangle, and drag it down. And when you see a line like this appear, and also you can see there are 2 arrows, black and white, then you release your mouse, and then you have a second copy here. So basically, for example, now I can just press and drag. As you can see, now we have 2 copies. Another way you can actually create a copy is just press right here and choose duplicate layer. Just press OK, and now you have another copy, and again you can just press and drag. You see 3 copies. So when we create a copy, the copy is automatically created on the top of another copy. Okay, so that's why we don't see 2 of them, we see 1 because they're on top of each other. And let's just take this and move. You can also go to edit and press free transform if you want it to be selected, and then you can move it as well. So it's up to you. Let's press OK. So now when we have done that, we need to have a left side and also right side. How are we going to do that? So let's see which one is behind. Okay, that one is behind, and let's create another copy. So again, you hold Alt or Option, press and drag a little bit down. You see 2 arrows, black and white, and then you release the mouse button. So now for example we can drag the second copy, and let's put it like this. Let's actually leave it like this. Okay, let's leave it there. Let's now go to edit, free transform, and now let's press right here and choose perspective. You just press right on the inside the selection and press perspective, and now you can go to right side. We can press and drag. So perspective actually helps us to put our objects into perspective. So for example, if we look here, this part is, or for example this part, let's say like this part, like the right part is almost like this rectangle but in perspective. So instead of being like this, it's like this, right? So that's what we need to change. So now for example I can go here, press and drag, and see what happens. You see it's getting down. So now it's in perspective already. So let's press right now and choose scale, and now we just need to change the size a little bit like this to the left, and again press right and choose perspective, and then we can drag it down and press OK. Now we have the left side already finished. Now we just need to create a copy of this element here. So again, another way you can actually create a copy is directly on the image itself, so you don't have to do it here. You just select the rectangle, you hold Alt or Option, press and drag, and when you do that, see what happens. We create a copy automatically, and we can drag it. And then of course first you have to release the button of your mouse, and only then you can release Alt or Option. That's very important. So first you release the mouse button, and only then you release Alt or Option. And now like this we have already rectangle, but the problem is that her head is not inside rectangle, so it doesn't look right. And how are we going to fix that? So let's choose this, the one that the first layer basically, the first rectangle, and then let's hold Shift and choose the upper one. So when we do that, it actually selects all the rectangles in between as well. So again, we press this one, then we hold Shift and press this one, and now it selects all of them. Press right here, and no, don't press right, just do that, and then you can go here and press this option, and when you do that, now it's a group. So basically now if we press here on this arrow, we can see that all the rectangles are located in this group 1. Let's close this, and we can rename this group. For example, let's press twice on it, and let's just name it box, because it looks like a box. So now we need to create a mask for this group. Press on the group, go here and choose the option. This option is going to create a white mask. And so yeah, you need to know how masks work in order to understand that. If you don't know how masks work, just go to my YouTube channel and press on search, and then search mask. I have a lesson there explaining how masks work. This is very important. So when you have the mask created, go here, press right and choose brush tool. And so the first thing you should do, make sure you have here black color selected. So you can just press twice, make sure you have here 0000, which is the code for black color basically. And let's get closer. So let's make our brush size a little bit bigger. Hardness 100. Okay, this is fine. Also make sure opacity and flow are 100%, both of them, this one and this one. And now we can start drawing. Make sure your mask is selected, not this one, but mask, exactly mask. So for example, now we can start removing the lines. And so because we how do I say it? Because we're painting on the mask with black color, that's why it's hiding the parts where we're painting black. So that's how masks work. And like this, and we also should, delete this part here. We can adjust it later if you think it's a little bit wrong. Let's get closer. Let's make this smaller, the brush size. You can just press right button on your mouse, and then you will have the size here, and you can make it smaller from here, so you don't have to go here every time you want to change the size basically. There are actually lots of different hotkeys that lets you to change the brushes and so on. And if you want to just Google Photoshop brush hotkeys, and you will find all of them. They just help you to work faster. So anyway, we delete the parts that we don't need, and let's see if we need this part actually here. So let me turn this off and on. Yeah, we need to see it. But what we can actually do, we can go to opacity and make it 50, and then we can actually see what we need to delete here. For example, you see this, you need to delete this part here. Perfect, let's make it 100 again. And now we actually need to change our color to white, because we need to add some box here. So we need to add a little bit of the, before we were coloring this black in order to hide, now we need to show some of the part. So for example, if we just draw like this slowly to make it look good. And you can actually do this one as well, but I mean it's not that critical, but yeah. Yeah, it's lots of detailed work, huh? Okay, and now it looks nice. So now it looks like her head is inside this box. That's what we were going for. Now what we'll have left to do is to add some pattern here, like this or like this, In order to find the pattern, you can just go to unsplash.com. So unsplash.com, and then you can just search here. Sorry, you can just search here pattern, or you can actually type anything there like paintings, flowers, whatever you want. For example, this looks interesting. I don't know how it's going to look there, but we could give it a try at least. Let's see if we find something. Let's give this a try. So we can just download it. Or actually, I'm not going to download because I already have tons of patterns. So you can download. You can press here and download it if you want to. I'm going to use patterns that I already have on my laptop. For example, let me just patterns. Let me choose something from here. This one, yeah, maybe I'm just gonna show you how you can do it. So let's just give it a try. So we have a pattern here inside Photoshop. You can just drag and drop it into Photoshop, and then you just make it a little bit higher. So you make sure, let's say we want to put pattern on the left side. So make sure your pattern covers this part, and let's press OK. What you can do actually now is, so let's choose first. Okay. So now we can actually put our pattern in perspective as well. So because this left part is like this, so our pattern also needs to be like this. Okay, right now our pattern is flat, so we need to change it. So in order to do this, let's just go to Edit, Free Transform, and make sure your pattern is selected when you do that. Then press right and choose here perspective. And now again we can just press and drag down. So again press and drag like this. So and when you see that they're almost the same, the perspective is almost the same, you can see that from this line. So this line has to be almost like this line basically. So we need to make it a little bit down, I would say. Yeah, much better. Maybe even more. Okay, now it's good. And let's just press OK. And now when you have done that, what you should do actually, go to opacity, make it down a little bit, like this. So now we can just again create a mask on the pattern itself. Take our brush tool, make sure it's black. So you just make sure the first color is black. So make the brush bigger. And now we need to start deleting the parts that we don't need. So we need the pattern appear only on the left side. So that's why we need to delete everything else, basically. Like this. What you can also do, you can just press once here and then you can hold shift and press here, and when you do that, it automatically drawing a line between here and there. So again, for example, I press once here and then I hold shift and press here, and you see a line is automatically drawn. Again, press once, hold shift and press here, and again a new line comes. So now you can actually make the opacity again 100. And when you have done that, of course, like there are some things that we didn't do right, for example these things. So if you're doing an artwork, then of course you need to make sure your work is detailed. So you need to make sure this is all accurate. Right now I'm just showing you how to do it, so that's why we don't have to care about that so much. So make that 100%, go to normal. Now you have to choose the blending mode. So for example, we can just choose any of the blending modes that you're going to like. For example, this one actually looks pretty interesting. Lighten. This one also looks nice. Color dodge. Let's see. So yeah, and maybe probably for you, if you don't have the latest version of Photoshop, when you just move your mouse over this different methods, it's not going to change for you. Maybe you have to press in order to see the change. Like the option to see the change without pressing is only available in the latest version of Photoshop. Okay, if you don't have the latest, you just go press. I know it's a lot of time, but that's what I used to do before. So if you want to create something really interesting, then you have to work. It has to take lots of time. Vivid light, linear light. That's I actually like more. All of them are pretty good, but oh look, this one is nice. Divide. Yeah, it feels the atmosphere. I think it fits the atmosphere better because it's also kind of cold colors, and our image is also kind of cold. So I'm gonna go with divide. So that's it basically for this tutorial, I would say. And you can continue and create, like you can just copy this pattern to the right side here or the down or behind. So you can just copy it to wherever you want. You can use different patterns anyway. I hope you like this tutorial, guys, and make sure to subscribe because I'm creating tons of unusual content. I'm showing you how to do unusual artwork, so not just basic standard stuff that you see on YouTube. I'm showing you how to create all of the different unusual, like weird or like cool artworks that I have on my portfolio, basically on my Instagram. And thank you guys for watching that. See you guys till the next lesson. Bye.